Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's episode. This episode, I'm going to tell you a trick that I use with my clients when they are sort of struggling with like, how do you take what you're doing in your services? How do you take what you're doing in your one on one work with your customers and turn it into a scalable online experience? So, as you probably have heard in other episodes, the first pillar that we have is helping our customers create an authority strategy, which means taking your services and expertise and creating an authority model and framework that helps to guide the way that you use your expertise to help your customers get results. That's the very first thing that we help our customers do. So, that is something that most of our customers can get to because they have an expertise, they have a way that they've been helping their customers so they can work through their ideal customer, what the problem is that they have, what the result is that they're looking for, and then how they can, as experts, create the fastest path to help their customer go from point A to point B. We get that framework all set up. And the next step is to take that framework and turn it into a scalable online experience, a way to deliver it beyond one on one. And that is where everything starts to fall apart for a number of different reasons. One is the very first thing, which is just this shift that you need to make in your head around the value and what's going to happen when somebody is not working with you one on one in the same way that they were in the past. And that mindset shift will take some time. It is one of the things that we work on with our customers all of the time because it is very, very common. In fact, it was something that held me back for years. I had this idea that people need to have, I need to be with them in their office or next to them in order to help them. And so I had to make that shift to go, oh, well, they just need me to lead them down the path. And it doesn't really matter how I lead them down the path as long as I can get them there as the fastest way possible. I had a client come to me, and this was years ago, and he came up to me, he's like, "Oh my gosh, what you gave me today, what you taught me today changed my business." I was able to apply it immediately, and it made a huge difference in what I was doing. I don't remember exactly what he was trying to accomplish, but I looked at him and I'm like, "I didn't see you today. You and I didn't meet this morning." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. I watched your video in the training that you had done, and I was able to apply what you had taught me immediately." And the light bulb went off for me, even though I have been teaching this forever. But the light bulb went off for me that he didn't even really associate the fact that he wasn't with me personally because he was interacting with me personally. Just like when I'm creating a video, I'm always thinking about my clients on the other end of that video. The video I'm creating is a training for the people who are taking it, right? So I'm thinking about that person on the other end of the camera. It's that same concept. And when you start to reimagine how you can serve people in that way, it'll open up your whole world to be able to start creating something that can be leveraged, that can be you, only the virtual end of you, so you don't have to continuously repeat yourself over and over and over again with every single client, but frees you up to have more meaningful conversations with your customers. That shift needs to happen first and foremost as you're going through this journey. It takes a little bit of time. You'll do the work and then have to shift in your mind again, and then do the work and then have the shift in your mind again. Honestly, that's one of the best reasons to join Learn Academy mentorship because we hold space for that as you're going through this journey. Because when you are stuck in your own head of not only trying to figure out what it is that you want to teach in an organized fashion, and then how to actually take that and turn that into an asset, that process needs help from an external person to remind you that you're on the right path. But the other thing that I always tell my clients is for this exercise, you need to pretend that you can't talk to your customers. Like you have no access to your customers. So, how would you help them get results if you had no access to them? You literally cannot call them on the phone. You cannot meet with them in person. You have to meet with them in a way that they can get all of your genius, all of your expertise that you're teaching in your signature framework in a way that's not connected to you at all. And that tends to break people's brains, but that's the amount of effort you need to think about when you're going through this process is like, how would I help my customer in the highest level when I cannot physically meet with them? Not on the phone, not on Zoom, not live in person. How would I go about delivering an awesome experience to them if I cannot access them? That, my friends, is when the power of a scalable online solution comes into play. Because when you think through that lens, you get really creative in terms of, oh, I need to give them all these parts and pieces and details, worksheets, and different things that will help them be able to apply what I'm teaching. Because I'm not going to be able to show up and just answer random questions. I've got to filter those questions in throughout the experience. So when we're teaching this to our customers, we're helping them uncover that step by step by step by step so that it's not overwhelming. When you think about all of the time you spend with the random questions or the random things that your clients are asking that maybe are in scope or out of scope from a project or services perspective, you think about how much time that takes up out of your day or distracts you from actually getting them the fastest path to success. If you were to strip that away and just say, okay, well, here is the path, right? Here's the framework that gets somebody from point A to point B in the fastest way possible. And here's how I can help them do it. That changes the game. It changes the game for how you show up when you're in a one on one situation with a client. It changes your ability to package your expertise in a way that serves your customers at the highest level and allows you to step in a one on one scenario that's much more meaningful and much more rich and deep because you're able to help them as they're going through the process when they're actually stumbling on real problems versus just repeating the same things over and over again. So, this tip is something that helps all of our customers, and just putting that lens in front of the activity helps them to not fall back on a one-on-one call or a one-on-one assessment and then have them take things onesie and twosies as we go. That is going to keep you in a service-based business. That's going to keep you in a one-on-one scenario. And so if customer experience is really important to you, if helping your customers get results is really important to you, then you're going to create different super cool creative experiences if you have the lens of like you can't actually talk to them in person. So that's my challenge for you this week. Think about that. If you were put in a situation that you could not meet with your clients in the same way you have in the past, how would you change things? How could you put something in place that would help create that same level of personalization, that same level of connection with your customers, even if you weren't able to meet with them live? So that is my challenge for you. And if you need it, think about your experience during COVID, right? One of the gifts of COVID was that we had to pivot and think about unique and different ways to connect with our customers that we never had to think about before. It's a great stepping stone to really thinking about not just like a lot of times people are, oh, I don't want to create something that's evergreen and not touch it. That just feels disconnected to my customers and I don't like that. Think about it as creating a rich experience for your customers that they can interact with you at the highest level when you're able to do that at scale, right? Because right now in your service based business, you probably could help maybe 10, maybe 20 customers if you're super efficient at what you're doing, but you can't help 1,000. You can't help more people. You're going to get to that level where you're maxed out. And so when you think about it from that perspective, how do you continue to do what you're doing without maxing out as you add more people to your business? So that is my challenge for you. Think about how you can add if you want to go nuts and add a whole scalable online experience, awesome. We are here to support you through that. If you want to just take a couple of different things that you're doing today for your service-based clients or your one-on-one clients and think about like how could you replace that with something super cool that they would still give them a ton of value and make them feel connected to you when they're not meeting with you one-on-one? I will give you a quick example to close out this podcast. We use a Slack channel for our customers. So instead of like having constant phone calls with our customers, having them constantly email us, or God forbid, having them text us at all hours of the night, and day and weekends and all of the things, we have a Slack channel that we put our customers in, and they're able to ask questions as they're working through different parts and pieces of what they're building as they're building their scalable online experience. And the beauty of it is they can ask their question, and if we're online, we can answer it immediately. Or if we're not, then we can answer it when we are back at our computer. And everyone wins, everyone feels connected. My customers do not feel like they are not connected to us in all of the needs that they have as they're moving forward by not meeting with us in person, by not meeting with us daily on the phone or on Zoom or whatever else, or being able to text or email us at all hours of the day. And so that's a super simple example of how you can use a tech tool to save yourself some time and be able to control when it is that you're communicating with your customers. So there you go. That's one idea you can go ahead and implement immediately. In the meantime, I would love to chat with you if you are dealing with this, if you're trying to figure out, like, how do I switch my mindset from thinking that there's no way I'm doing anything online, I'm not delivering online, I'm going to stay working with my one on one customers, and I don't know how I would make a great experience outside of that. But you're kind of interested, you're kind of maxed out, you're kind of in that place where you know you need to scale, but you're not exactly sure what to do. Give me a shout. In the show notes, you'll find a link to schedule a discovery call. I would love to have a conversation with you. No pressure, no sales, just a conversation about how you can go through this process and what may be the right fit for you. So until next time, go ahead and give us subscribe on the podcast. We would love to have your feedback. We would love to have you share it with other people. And until next time, have a great week.